Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Spartan Sports Report on TV3. And Ron and I are very happy to have a special guest. Ron?
Yeah, it's Andrea Van Meter. She's the athletic director.
She's director of athletics at CHS.
Would you?
I don't know if it's a special guest, but I'll be your guest.
I think so. I think you're very special. The director of athletics. I think that sounds more formal than athletic director.
It sounds a little more formal. I don't know that I like that though.
Yeah, AD.
There we go. Just AD. That
you're
works.
the chiefest or chiefest, whatever the feminine. You're the lady in charge.
The lady in charge.
You have all the news from CHS.
Say that again.
You have a lot of news from CHS.
I've got some things, not a whole lot of news. I mean, we're rolling. Big week. Actually, it's a slow week, but it's also still a big week. We're home football this Friday, so that's kind of nice. Bringing it back to Spartan Field. Been away for 2 in a row, but going into it 2-1. So hoping for a victory on Friday. Then, of course, we turn around next week and we have homecoming. So we bring the Lions in for the War on 44 and homecoming. There's a homecoming parade that day that's going to start over there by St. Gabriel's. So I think there's a lot of people putting floats in for the parade. Sorry about that. And then something really neat, I don't know if you guys were aware, but we had filled out for a grant with T-Mobile. About 3 weeks ago. Mr. Havlicek, the assistant AD, filled out basically like a community story about our community, our football stadium, upgrades that are needed, and we actually won. Wow. We are the proud recipients of a $5,000 T-Mobile giveaway, and we are still in the running for a multi-million-dollar facility upgrade. We will be receiving that check Friday evening. I just got the email as I was walking in.
That's awesome.
They'll be presenting the giant check, and T-Mobile representatives will be there to pass out to give people information on how we could get to the next level. So the next step is $25,000.
Good.
That could definitely help at that football field. And then the multi-million would be new field, new track, new locker rooms, new bleachers, all of that. So we asked the community kind of follow us on Facebook, see what they need to do. I think it's all on Instagram, like hashtags and all of those symbols that you need to use. But it's the T-Mobile 5G Friday Night Lights is what it's called. So very honored to get that. The representative is actually out of Richmond, and he said we are the only one in his region, and he has Eastern Indiana and Southern Ohio. We are the only one in his region that won that. So we're hoping to be in the top 16. So we need help from everybody to get us there. Just another way to make our community proud.
It would really spruce up the athletic program.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Something that the teams could be proud of, teams coming in would be proud of. So hopefully we can get our conference schools on board to help us get to that next level. I mean, they have to come to our facilities too. I mean, we don't have a locker room for them right now, you know, and so they have to go all the way up to the school. So
a lot of expenses.
Just something that would probably help everybody.
And other than that, our facility, football facility, is nice. I know our press box very well. And I've been to other people's press box, and I got to say, ours is very, very nice.
Yeah, press box is beautiful. Field is beautiful. We have beautiful lights. We just have some other areas that could need a little love. And some of our bleachers are getting love this week. They're replacing some of the wooden beams that are not in great shape and putting aluminum down. So it's getting a little bit of an upgrade, maybe a Band-Aid, but
a little bit of a danger, really. At the bleachers,
absolutely. It is. It's something that's been on everybody's mind. But you know, when you're looking at $2 million to replace, it takes a lot.
Well, the best of luck to everybody that's involved in pulling that off.
Is there something the community needs to do to get?
Well, once we did put a post out on Friday. Just basically stating that we made it through the first round and we won the $5,000.
That's awesome.
There's a hashtag that you're supposed to be using on Instagram that hopefully they'll pass out Friday night at the games, and it's between now and we'll get our big check. We'll get our check in November, but then they're going to tell us October the 10th. If we've made it into the second round, which would be the $25,000 round. Then if you make that, you're in the top 16 of the nation. So this isn't just Indiana. This is the nation. Yes. So nationwide, 5G, I think, is how it goes. Good. So we'll let the community know. Hopefully I'll have something. Maybe the next time I'll have a video we can put on as a clip to show people what to put on Instagram and kind of what we need.
Good. Hopefully.
Canada does a great job in supporting their athletic programs.
They do. The fans are great.
Yes.
The community comes out. They're very faithful. We travel well. It's very nice to see, and I think it would be something our community can talk about other than just the bowl. We talk about Spartan Bowl, but maybe we can now talk about the football field.
That's right.
And track, yes.
That's right.
We're going to talk about a big win Friday night as the Greensburg Pirates visit Connorsville.
No, we went to their.
Yeah, we went to their
house.
place.
That's right,
yes.
to Greensburg, right?
Yeah, we went to their house and made it our house.
We did very early.
Very early. The first play of the game, 42 yards, got called back from a penalty, but it was on. From the moment we got the ball.
Early, didn't we, Ron?
Yeah. It was kind of a flip-flop of the Franklin County game. We went out 13-0, whereas Franklin County went out 14-0. And then they ran it back just like we ran it back. And their guy went untouched as well. But that didn't stop us. We shut them out after that. I mean, they didn't score an offensive touchdown, just like we did.
Yes.
Well, we did. We scored one late in the fourth quarter against Franklin County. They didn't at all. So our guys held tight, played very well. The line was great, the running was great. We had real long runs. We'll show the highlights here in a bit, but it was impressive to see, especially after that lopsided loss.
You can tell when the kids come to play.
Yeah. I mean, and not to say they didn't come to play against Franklin County, because they did. They just ran into a good team. But they didn't let that loss keep them down, and they played their game. And it was very, very nice to see. And we actually got to have a running clock to our advantage for once, and that was nice.
It was confidence. You could see the confidence after that first. I mean, I came in, literally I was 5 minutes late, and we had already scored the touchdown. I don't even think 2 or 3 minutes went off the clock. And I told everyone, maybe I just need to go home. Like, if we're going to be up this early, maybe I just need to go back to my car.
Yeah,
I know. They were like, probably, maybe you should.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we scored right again. So the confidence was there. I mean, still making some errors here and there.
That's going to happen.
Coach Lynch was on them, and he would pull them off to the side, and he would teach them like what to do next. And his staff is very supportive. So I think they have the pieces there. And you could tell they were kind of starting to work. Yeah,
and that's what's impressive. We got a young team. We got Keene, the quarterback. He's a young Keller. We have so many. Flanagan. I think Flanagan's just a junior.
He's a sophomore.
Or sophomore. So he's a sophomore. So we have so many sophomores, and I think the Whitaker twins are they?
They're juniors.
They're juniors. So we have so many young kids on the defense. I mean, they both play a lot of both ways, but this is a young team that's going to be exciting. The future is bright for these kids.
Good.
Sure.
It really is.
What is the breakdown as far as classes? How many seniors?
I knew you were going to ask me that, Fran.
There's 6, aren't there?
There's 52 kids, I think, total on the team.
Well, that's a good number.
Are you talking about the classes, as far as freshmen, sophomore, juniors? I think we have 11 seniors this year.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, I think there's 11. I think it's almost pretty even across the board, like 11, 10, maybe 10, and then I think our freshman class is a little bit bigger.
Right. That's
but yeah, we're hanging around the 50 mark is where we're at.
That's very good for a school this size.
Yeah, I wish we were bigger. I wish we had about 30 more kids.
It'd be nice.
It'd be nice for some more substitutions, because we got kids who are playing both sides of the ball.
You'd have a freshman team along with JV.
It would be nice, yeah. So right now it's hard to play the JV team because a lot of those JV kids are getting minutes on the varsity.
That's right.
On the varsity side.
And there's rules with that. If there's
so many quarters, only had 6 quarters a week. Yeah. So that could cause some overlaps.
Of course, TV3 was at the game in Greensburg, and here are some highlights from the Spartans in Greensburg game.
As you see, the Pirates come out, and they
had a big crowd.
Green.
They were very loud, and actually their cheer block stayed all the way till the end.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Yeah, I think this is Flanagan's first run, and that was, I think, the third play of the game. Yes. The first play was called back, and there he is again from 30. I think both of them were 30-something back, but he bounces off a blocker there, and he's gone.
They had a hard time. I noticed they had a hard time keeping our guys down.
Yeah.
I think one time Parker there in the second half.
Here's their run back.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Are those new football uniforms, Andrea?
The white ones are not. The gray pants are, I believe. Or actually, I think the gray and the white was last year, but they did get new gray ones or silver.
A nice uniform.
Yeah, that's
nice.
I think Coach Lynch likes Ohio State.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah, the number of guys that put hands on some of these kids as they're running, like Micah went and touched there.
Yeah, Micah.
That wasn't even
the lane that he had, the lane that the line opened up, and I talked about this during. Right here was incredible. This was just supposed to be a couple yards, ended up being a 19-yard touchdown. That was unbelievable there from Keene. I mean, Ryland just bursted, but. The blocking from the receivers, right there. Was that number 8 there? Fox was blocking downfield to lead. I could have ran through that.
That's just wide open there. Yeah. I think our offensive line was really on fire. Actually, got a call today from Greensburg asking me about
Here's
Bentley.
Fox's run.
Because Bentley got in a little bit of heat there against Franklin County. Yeah. And so they called to make sure he was actually legal to be able to play that night.
Really?
So they're a little worried about it because
I was worried. Yeah,
they had planned their offense and defense around him, and then he was there. So
yeah, I didn't mention that during the game because I totally forgot about that. He was tossed out of that, and then there was a call. I think it was against Flanagan, where the kid came in. You could clearly see him tackling him on the side. Where it was Flanagan went out to the right side, and then you can see the guy's arm do this, and all of a sudden they tossed a flag, and they call our guy for personal foul. And so it's like, I don't know what
was
happened.
That the double foul that time? Because I thought there was one on both sides.
I thought it was too, but it sounded like they only called it against our guy. Because, whatever it was, we got marked off for 15 yards. And it negated his long run, and it made it like a 3rd and 1 because, I mean, it brought it back to where it was manageable. But still, it was like, I didn't see the double. So if it did, then we lost yards on it, which bothered me. But still, that kid came in like that, and it was, I didn't understand that. You got to hold your emotions in check.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
The offensive line needs a lot of credit. They opened a lot of holes for the kids to run through.
They created a lot of disruption there. Like I said, Greensburg was really worried because they called me today, and they weren't thinking Bentley was going to be on the line because this would have been a game he would have had to miss. Yeah. But they overruled the ejection from Franklin County and just turned it down to an unsportsmanlike conduct. Yeah, the officials did, so he was able to play.
And that ejection, we didn't understand what happened because as soon as the whistle blew, both kids walked away. Yeah. So we didn't understand why he got tossed.
Yeah, I'm not sure, and I think that's the question. There was a question that came to the officials, which you're not supposed to be able to question or overturn them. Right. So I think the officials went back and reviewed that film and noticed that they had messed up. And which I mean, it kind of stinks for him because he was out the whole second half of the game, but he was actually able to play at Greensburg, and they were not expecting him to play. So I think he kind of stumped him a little bit.
Well.
Yeah, that could be a tough game. Sure. South Dearborn from Aurora High School comes to Connorsville in a conference game.
Another conference game, pretty much conference games other than North Decatur from here on out. So our schedule's all conference. But yes. Tough game. Definitely a beatable team.
I think so.
And it's on home field. So that has to bring a lot. I don't know that they travel very well with their fans. So having our community support behind the boys is always helpful.
Is this a special night of any kind?
We are going to be accepting the T-Mobile check between the first and second quarter. Okay. But other than that, we don't have any other little kids or little cheerleaders or football players or anything like that. So it's kind of a night of football.
Okay, that sounds good. Hopefully it's a beautiful night weather-wise.
I hope so. I think it's supposed to be hot. Hopefully no rain. I heard maybe rain, but I hope not.
Well, at least we have air conditioning in our or whatever
in your
we have.
venue,
it's nice.
You have air conditioning.
Yeah. We have a nice
food, drinks, and air conditioning.
Yes.
Let's review the Spartan sports for this week. On Tuesday, boys varsity tennis at Centerville. That has a 5:00 start. Boys varsity soccer at Nicetown at 5. Girls varsity soccer at Rushville at 5:30. JV and varsity volleyball at Northeastern at 7:30. On Wednesday, boys varsity tennis at Eastern Hancock. That starts at 5:00. On Thursday, boys JV and varsity soccer at Centerville at 5. Girls varsity golf at East Central at 5:00. And girls JV and varsity volleyball at Greensburg at 5:30. On Friday, varsity football versus South Dearborn at 7:00. And on Saturday, co-ed cross country at Marion Oak Hill at 5 a.m. in the morning. And JV and varsity volleyball. It's an invitational. It'll be at 9 o'clock, and that's at Spartan.
That is at home. It's in the Spartan Fieldhouse.
Okay.
It's 3 other teams with us, Rising Sun, Seymour, and Pike. So the teams have come back every year. It is JV on one court, varsity on the other.
Should be a great day for fans. And boys varsity soccer will be at Rushville at 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday. Girls on Thursdays is when
Saturday. Girls varsity soccer will be Saturday. No, you're all right.
Girls varsity soccer will be at South Dearborn at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. And girls varsity golf at Lawrenceburg. That's an EIAC event, and that starts at 12 o'clock noon. So a busy week.
Very busy week, and a conference week starts. I mean, we've got sectionals for girls golf coming up in 2 weeks.
Can you believe it's sectional time?
It's almost sectional time, yeah. Wow. Girls golf is first, and then it goes to tennis, and then soccer's, and then football.
Wow.
So we're slowly getting to that time.
Well, you flick them off, don't you, quickly?
We do.
Have they done the pairings for
No, those
football?
usually won't come. Football pairings will probably come 2 weeks before. So it'll be the Sunday. Okay. It's usually a Sunday. They have a practice week, and then...
Do we host one?
We won't know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
we won't know. Sorry, Football is a weird one where you don't know until the draw.
The draw.
Well, you're not supposed to, but...
Right.
I think the ICCA briefly talked about seeding in football in the tournament. Have you heard that?
I have not heard that. I know in Ohio they do. You have to get points and
some schools don't even make it.
Yeah, you don't make it over in Ohio.
Explain seeding, Andrea.
It used to be when I
Well, I mean, if you're talking about the Ohio one, basically it's every school gets points, and so depending on how big the school is, how successful they've been would be how many points you would get necessarily playing against them. So, East Central plays a lot of Cincinnati teams. Well, the problem is those Cincinnati teams are losing points when they play East Central because East Central's in Indiana, and we don't do the point system here. As far as Indiana high school, we only go by classes, so they move up based on enrollment. So that's why East Central ended up having to move up to 5A, not because of their enrollment. Theirs was based on success, so they jumped up to 5A this last year because of that.
Do you prefer seeding?
I don't know that. I haven't been a part of seeding. Other than like the collegiate level, I don't know that I've really been around it. It's supposed to level the playing field, but I also feel like there are some people that tournament time, they're a different team.
Right.
I mean, if you think about the basketball and you think about Hoosiers and Milan, like based on who they play, they may not have ever gotten into that tournament, and so I don't know. I think I'd be kind of either way on that.
And it's up to athletic directors to do that. A vote by athletic directors determines.
I'm not sure how they do it in Ohio. I think there's a committee. I think there's honestly
30-some years since I've been over there. So
I think it's a committee, like the Ohio Football Coaches Association is who runs it.
Each has their own method of doing it.
There's probably a set way that the whole state does it, with points and how many points you get. My guess is that the bigger schools you play and you knock off, the more points you're going to get for wins and losses and stuff.
Ohio's football crazy, and I think it's totally different. Just like basketball is different over here. It's different over there when it comes to any other sport. Like when I was over there, some schools didn't make it. You didn't make the playoffs. Or the tournament. You didn't make it. So, And
that's what gives you the advantage. Like, if we're beating up on 1A schools, we're not getting points. I mean, yes, you're winning and you're getting some points, but you're not getting the same points you would get if you're beating up on the Ben Davis, Noblesville, New Pal schools kind of thing.
Okay.
So that's why the Cincinnati schools are usually trying to play the bigger schools and schools over there that think that they're decent just so they can score the points to get into the tournament.
Yes. Okay. Last week's scores, boys varsity tennis, they finished second at the Richmond Invitational. Was that their first time to have a defeat?
That would have been, right now they were undefeated going into that Invitational.
Boys soccer beat South Dearborn in overtime shootout. What's that? How does that happen?
So at the end of regulation, they were tied. At the end of overtime, they were tied. So then it's penalty kick to penalty to kick. So they pick 5 guys from each team, and then it's basically one-on-one goalie versus kicker, and we didn't let them. We didn't let them score any on us, so we ended up beating them off the penalty kicks.
Okay,
so
doesn't happen very often.
That doesn't happen very often, but they also don't like to tie in conference.
Right.
So.
Right.
Girls soccer lost to Yorktown 0-3. Boys varsity tennis beat Greensburg 3-2. And the Eastern Indiana Football Conference scores: Batesville is 3-0. They beat South Dearborn by a 26-21 score, and Dearborn will be moving into Conroe, who I mentioned Friday night, and they have a 2-1 record, so they're doing pretty well in the conference.
They're playing pretty well.
Right. East Central 1-2 lost to Archbishop Moeller of Cincinnati, who is 3-0. That final score is 42-13. Ron, East Central having some struggles.
Well, like she said, they're playing Cincinnati schools over there. So, yeah, I mean.
It's the difference between Cincinnati or Ohio and Indiana football.
Well, did you hear the announcer at Greensburg?
Yeah, he was all happy.
He was trying to give all of the scores from around the area, and then he did the East Central, and he's like, and East Central is losing 35 to
and held it off
0.
For a while. Yeah.
And everyone was kind of cheering, but it was, I mean, there's ups and downs.
Yeah.
I mean, they graduated a really good tight end last year. So, I mean, running back. So
and they're
going to be down a little bit. Yeah. I mean, everybody's going to be after them.
It's in cycles. These schools
Absolutely.
I mean, they started the season beating a Lawrenceburg team that was ranked 28-3.
That's right.
So
that was a surprise.
They're playing, and last year they dismantled Moeller. Well, I shouldn't say dismantled, but when you beat a Cincinnati team, anytime you can beat them by one, even it's dismantling. But so they beat their Cincinnati teams, and they've lost before and then won the state here. So. You can't gauge that on anything.
Not this early in the season.
Don't knock East Central right now, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. They're still East Central.
And they will be
on
the Spartan schedule later this year.
Mm-hmm. They will be. That's our senior night on October the 4th.
Okay, we'll be all looking forward to that. Lawrenceburg is 2-1. They defeated Milan 1-2. 41-7 was that score. Rushville is 2-0. They beat Franklin County by a 30-27 score. They're 2-1. Rushville's coming back, aren't they?
They are, and I think again that home field advantage is a huge thing. I mean, their field's a little different than everybody else's. People are very close to the field. I mean, it's hard to win at Rushville, and I don't know why. I just feel like it's hard to win there.
I think it's the smoke from the hamburgers.
Could be.
It makes us all
You
hungry,
blame it on the smoke from the barbecue.
When they cook that barbecue hamburger,
Could be. Everyone just wants a hamburger.
Yeah. I think at least I do.
Maybe you should start that at Connersville.
Yes, I need more workers, Fran. That would require more people to try to find the help. Yes, absolutely. That event planning.
People is the key to it.
People, lots of people. I have a lot of great people that I have pulled out of the woodwork.
Yes.
If you tell me, hey, if you ever need anything, you probably better mean it, because I will come back and I will ask you at some point. And there's people that are probably watching this like, yep, she did that to me last week.
That's right, yeah.
So
I just said it in passing.
Nope.
I didn't really mean it.
Nope. If you tell me that anything I need, it'll happen.
Yep.
I will call you.
I know you don't direct the middle school problems, but how are things in the middle school? They're doing pretty well.
Middle school's doing well. Our middle school soccer teams are finally getting some games in and competing, and they're playing really well. We're just struggling because a lot of schools are still co-ed. So we're boys and girls. We have enough numbers. Actually, we have 2 middle school soccer teams. We have a 7th and 8th grade team, plus our girls team. So we're struggling to find games, but we're slowly getting there. Middle school tennis is playing this evening. They have 2 games, actually, I think, at home this week. They're young.
You said middle school tennis?
Middle school tennis.
Oh, that's awesome. I haven't heard. Is that the first year? Or have
no, we've had it. No, we've
really?
had middle school tennis.
Well, I didn't know that.
We allow 6th graders to participate too in middle school tennis, and so there's about 13 of them, and they're just learning. You know, it's just a great learning experience for them to see. Coach Krause is a middle school teacher, and he's also the middle school tennis, and then the girls tennis coach. Volleyball is off to a good start. 7th and 8th grade teams, I can't tell you what their record is. I don't usually get down to those. I'm usually at the high school events. But they're competing very well. They've had some successes. I think if they're not 500, they're very close. In middle school football, they had they don't have a lot of numbers, but they do have a lot of heart. That 8th grade team has definitely improved from last year. A lot of kids that are getting a lot of great quality minutes. 7th grade, there's 3 whole little kids on the sideline when everyone else is out there. So when your team's only 15, it's a little difficult
Don't have 15 kids?
Yeah, I think there's only like 15 that could play the other day. There was the 11,
wow.
and I was pretty small. So,
wow.
So they're playing both sides of the ball. So they're learning a lot.
Yeah.
They're definitely learning a lot. 8th grade's a little bit bigger. Like I said, they're competitive. They make some good plays. It's nice that Coach Lynch is there and some of his staff is there watching. Yeah. But again, we're trying. We're getting there. We're trying to instill them early to be competitive and want to play, want to win.
Yes, this is where they learn the fundamentals, isn't it?
Yes, and finding the right coaches to do that is also something that we continue to battle. And
I'm sure that's what
finding coaches.
He has a lot to do with that, Coach Lynch. Yeah, to get that program. You talked about a number of problems. I remember when as a kid, of course, growing up in Ohio, it was all football.
Gotcha.
And I remember it was like, we had to play football. And now coming over here, it was like I didn't think basketball was that crazy until it moved over here. So it was kind of like, now I understand everybody. So trying to get that mindset of now trying to get football into a basketball crazed town, it's got to be tough.
Sure, it is. Everybody says Connersville's a basketball town. Well, that's where it's been just because of the bowl and everything. But I don't know that that's necessarily all that we are. We got some great teams in other areas. We're just, you just don't hear about them because they don't have this fancy place to go to.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Yeah.
I do want to give a shout out though, real quick. Arbor Crossing Golf Course hosted our girls golf invitational this past Saturday. We had 16 teams in it.
Oh, good.
We actually had a team come from Joliet, Illinois.
Oh.
They wanted to do an overnight stay. And so our course was out there. They were taking pictures. Tara and John were out there. And Jordan, not John. Sorry, Jordan. They were out there taking pictures, walking around, making sure everyone had a great time. So they're one of our sponsors because, we couldn't have a golf program if we didn't have a course that was supportive. And so we definitely thank them with their help with Coach Crutchfield. To be able to use that facility, and they're making it nicer and nicer every single week. So
we have a lot of dedicated adults as coaches, don't we?
Well, yeah, you have to be.
Yes.
I mean, if you went down to their hourly rate, it's probably like 20 cents an hour.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Maybe, depending on what
they may owe you
do.
guys money.
They might. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy how little they get. I mean, they get paid decent, but little they get paid for the hours that they put in.
Yeah, and then the behind the scenes stuff that nobody knows about, the worrying of where they put a kid and how much time the kid gets to play, and dealing with parents. I mean, there's a lot that they have to deal with that goes unnoticed.
Absolutely.
You're dealing with kids that you want to win, but then you want them to learn at the same time.
So. Practice planning. And
some program will ask you to name all the coaches, so be prepared.
Oh, that's great. I could probably name now all the assistants and volunteers. That might be tough, but I could probably get all of the coaches down pat. I talk to most of them every day, so if not multiple times a day. So.
You got to honor these people because of, as they say, the dedication.
Absolutely, they're very dedicated. I mean, you've got your cheerleaders, your dancers, your coaches, all of your volunteers. We got parents that just drive buses because our coaches want to be with the kids. So the bus drivers that we got a lot of the same bus drivers, but by golly, some of them drive 2-3 nights a week. Yeah. Saturdays. One driver drove our boys' JV soccer team down to Switzerland County.
Oh, wow.
For 1:00 game time. So, I mean, we've got a lot of people that give back to Connersville Athletics. I wish we had more, but I'll keep working. Keep saying you'll help me, and I will get you.
Well, you're a good leader, and I know they're happy to work for you.
Well, I appreciate that. I try hard.
Yeah.
Andrea, you brought us up to date on a lot of info from CHS.
I try. Sometimes I forget things, but I try.
That's okay. We'll just come and get you. That's it.
Hey, that's fine. You guys know where I work at. I'm there all the time. I'm there 14 to 16 hours a day, so come find me.
Wow.
Good luck to the Spartans and all the CHS sports this week. And Andrea, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, everybody, for watching tonight, this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. And let's root the Spartans on.